With all the attention on Joe Biden's campaign, two major news organizations today put the focus back on Donald Trump and his bid for the White House. An LA Times editorial called him, quote, patently unfit for the White House, while the New York Times ed board described him as unfit to lead. Remember, it was just 6 weeks ago that he was convicted of 34 felonies in a New York state court. Today, this was supposed to be his sentencing day, but that has now been delayed and set for September 18th. And today he asked the judge in the case to toss out that conviction, citing the Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity. I want to bring in Jen Palmieri, former White House communications director for President Obama, and Stuart Stevens, lucky him, is still with us. Jen, let's start with these two big editorials calling Trump unfit. I want to now share just a sample of what Trump has been saying at recent rallies. Watch this.
He's the worst. He's the most corrupt, the most incompetent president in the history of our country. Did you ever see him swing? He's like this. The guy thinks he looks good in a bathing suit. Did you ever see? Laughing Kamala, Laffin apostrophe. There's never been people treated more horrifically than J6 hostages. We're not going to have men playing in women's sports. We will institute the powerful death penalty for drug dealers. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Did you notice that? I said, sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. Please remember that. Crazy Nancy Pelosi, who, by the way, is also very cognitively impaired. Have you watched her lately? She's not doing too well.
Jen, who's hearing that and thinking he absolutely is the one to lead the nation and the free world? Just a few minutes ago, someone was saying people hear him and they think he's strong, he's tough, he's a leader. Did you just hear what he said?
Yeah, right. I think, and you know, it's worth noting after the debate, I think we went at least 10 days without seeing Donald Trump as, you know, as President Biden was undergoing, doing a lot of fundraisers, doing a lot of events, doing interviews, and undergoing a lot of scrutiny. And Donald Trump was nowhere to be seen. And then last night he came out on his golf carts on his own property to do this one rally. And then you see, you know, more Trump is beneficial to Biden because you see what the choice really is, and how unstable and unfit Trump is. And I think it's important that one of the editorials you cited talked about him being unfit to lead, right? That's different than just running for office, but that's actually being able to do the job. And the press conference that we saw President Biden do today, that is something only Joe Biden can do, where he's an older man, he speaks slowly, but he moves effortlessly from very complicated topics of foreign policy in the Mideast and Europe to domestic politics, and is in command.
Stuart, the LA Times called Trump manifestly unworthy of holding power. How is it that we are here, just under 4 months to Election Day, and it seems like his record has still not gotten the public scrutiny that any other candidate in the history of ever has gotten?
Look, I think you have to look at the differences in the party. The Republican Party completely collapsed in any sort of moral authority around Donald Trump. And it's not just Trump. A lot of people think maybe Trump's a little odd, a little weird. It's kind of bad to be convicted of 34 felonies, but they're governors for him, they're senators for him. And that's what Trumpism demands. It demands that you debase yourself as an elected official to pay homage to Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the Democrats are asking these questions: who is best qualified to lead the country? Who can do it? It's really just the sort of way that these two parties are so different. The Republican Party is much more homogeneous, and it's completely lost touch with any sort of purpose of a governing party. And look, this is why you run campaigns. And the way people look at this now and the way they're going to look at it in October and November can be radically different.
Jen, the Republican National Convention starts on Monday. I will be headed to Milwaukee next week. What are you going to be watching for?
I mean, normally this should be a good, to turn attention to your party and your party's convention should be a good moment. But I think it's a good opportunity for Biden, for the Democrats that are running the House and Senate to show how to highlight Project 2025, to show how extreme their agenda is. And I remember, as I recall, the 2020 convention that Trump held in D.C., the convention they held in Cleveland in 2016, it was a MAGA display, and it really will raise the stakes for the Democrats on just how extreme that agenda is, and with the Supreme Court giving presidents sort of unchecked power, there's not any guardrails this time. So I think that it will be an important week for President Biden and for Democrats.
Stuart, given what you just heard Trump say, and that was just a smattering of recent rallies, what do you expect we're going to get next week at the RNC? And will there be any level of scrutiny from his party? I mean, you heard Jim Himes talking earlier tonight saying everything that President Biden does from now until Election Day will be scrutinized, analyzed, mauled over by his own party. What's going to happen next week in Milwaukee with Trump? And are they going to applaud him no matter what?
Everybody's going to shut up and salute. To advance in the Republican Party now, you have to prove that you are willing to be more extreme than the next person. We don't talk about this for some weird reason, but the guy who's the nominee of the Republican Party is against mandatory vaccines in school, all vaccines. So he's for polio, he's for measles. I mean, it's just such extreme stuff that is out of touch with where America is. And look, this is what we do in the Lincoln Project. We highlight this all the time. And we're going to try to burn this stuff down like a Tokyo firebombing next week, focusing on Donald Trump and Project 2025. And him saying that he doesn't know anything about Project 2025 is that I did not inhale a policy. Of course he does. It's his project.
Of course he does. The party that's pro-polio, pro-Putin, coming to you from Milwaukee next week. Jennifer, Stuart, thank you both so much for being here tonight. When we return, the other word of the day, cooling. And I'm not talking about the weather. We're going to break down the good news on inflation and whether we could see a rate cut soon when the 11th hour continues.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.